Recording has begun.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Shahzad Hussain and I live at 20 Primary Way in Undercliff. And today it's been exactly 160 days since my brother's been kidnapped from my care. And I think from the 1st of October I decided to make these daily videos logging my journey through this process of my brother being taken away. And the reality is this now that since the 31st of August, so my brother was taken on the 8th of August. I tried to email people, try to get in touch with the police. Nobody was listening to me. Eventually, I managed to try to get in touch with Christopher Browell, his social worker. No, everybody was just basically looking the other way. From the 31st of August 2023 onwards until today, that's I think maybe 130 days or something, that I've been leaving a daily message to his social worker to get in touch with me, all refusing to be responded to. And then from the 1st of October 2020, from the 1st of October 2023, I've been making these daily videos. Absolutely nothing's happening. They're basically in the background, all colluding and conspiring. The local authority has, obviously in the case of the Housing Association, Manningham Housing Association, they've commissioned their services in order to pursue this frivolous and completely without merit case that lacks any validity, but it's being simply railroaded through for the benefit of the local authority, who are the net benefactors and beneficiaries of this evil enterprise by the of this evil enterprise, and the claim being pursued by the Housing Association. The Housing Association for 2 years later have not. They're in a position where they're willing to pay the money if my brother's entitled to live here. So what they've done is they just kidnapped my brother, saying, well, now you don't have entitlement to this house. This is the reason my brother's been kidnapped. My brother's been kidnapped because he has an entitlement to this house, number one. Number two is I was looking to expose fraud and corruption. Number three, they're looking to cross all the T's and dot all the I's and cover up in my mother's murder. Number four is that the judges are aware that I'm onto them, and the courts are aware that I'm onto them. So it was all a combination of many factors that resulted in my brother being kidnapped. But however, he's now been taken. It's been 160 days. I have absolutely no idea where my brother is. And I continue to write out to everybody, the social worker, the city solicitor, the police, the solicitor for the Housing Association. I continue to try to engage the courts, and today what the courts have told me is that no, we've had enough of you. We don't want you to now pay £250 to simply change a listed hearing to a remote hearing, which I had to pay last time. It's completely exorbitant, extortionate, isn't it? But they've deliberately made this as an attended hearing, where knowing the fact that I won't be able to attend. This is what they did last time. So like in 2022, when they first pursued this case, it was all remote, and it was a remote hearing before Deputy District Judge Maudsley on the 28th of March 2022. When I first ended up in court, then the Housing Association later abandoned that case because there was no legal basis of unlawful trespass. So subsequently, the local authority instructed them, no, you need to go back again and pursue the matter again for a second time. So I was in court on the 5th of July 2022 before District Judge Hickinbottom. I told him I'm being subjected to fraud. He recused himself from the case, only to later be on the case. Subsequently, there was a hearing listed on the 30th of September, which I was only given a week's notice to, which was an injunction order, which I asked for an adjournment of. I said I couldn't attend. It just proceeded in my absence, and the Housing Association managed to get an injunction to do a gas safety inspection. They came down on the 12th to carry out the gas safety inspection, and I had already done one myself. Was not allowed entry, but then sinisterly, I knew what they were up to. So when they came down, they subsequently reported the matter to the local authority, that they came in to the house and the situation was very dilapidated. They basically needed a pretext to run a welfare check, a contrived and malicious welfare check. That all failed. But I did not attend that hearing, and then subsequently the next hearing was a final hearing, which was a remote hearing on the 30th of November, which then got hijacked and reconstituted as a directional hearing, where injunction orders were put in place to ensure that the local authority who had failed to get a capacity assessment would now be forcibly getting a capacity assessment, on the grounds that the Housing Association were going to now pay over £1,000 to get a capacity assessment carried out. I subsequently made the judge aware that, look, my brother's not agreeing to this, all right, and they just basically spent the whole of 2023 trying to force through a capacity assessment. there was a hearing on the 30th of May. Unbeknown to me, no notice was given to me, no notice was given to the other party. It all happened allegedly, in our absence before District Judge Mitchell. That was a fraud. I then subsequently, another hearing was listed on the 18th of July as an attended hearing. I then put in an application, paid 200 and something pounds to have it listed as a remote hearing, which was granted. At the remote hearing, it was just another fraud. I needed to attend the hearing to ensure that I'm satisfied myself that the judge is on the take, but District Judge Mitchell is on the take. So I attended that hearing only to find out that clearly there was fraud and malevolence taking place. I was railroaded to put a defense argument in so that the claimant could look to utilize that for their own benefit. It was all geared towards the housing association, the claimant's benefit, rather than looking to be impartial. I quite clearly clicked on from what was happening then. I told them I'm putting in an appeal of a dismissal application. They said no, you've not paid for it, so forcing me to pay for a dismissal application. So you see that the claimant could pay £325 or something to put a claim in. Then I have to spend £250 to dismiss it. So either way, the courts win, make money out of it. It's completely horrendous and ludicrous that this situation was arisen like this. But anyway, so that was a remote hearing, which was changed to a remote hearing, and subsequently the next remote hearing was on the 9th of October, and it was all remote hearings from then on. And then all of a sudden on the 17th of October, when it was a listed hearing it was a remote hearing for the claimant's application, 2 hours before I said I want to record the hearing, and then all of a sudden mysteriously Judge Wilcox adjourned the hearing, and then subsequently it was listed for the 21st of November as an attended hearing. She just then subsequently, without my involvement, adjourned that hearing, and now all of a sudden listed these are the attended hearings. And if I want to make an application, which is not guaranteed or it's going to be successful, I have to pay £275 for the privilege. Absolutely horrendous, isn't it? It's like they're just basically extorting money out of me willy-nilly, and now they're putting in a limited civil restraint order that I can't use public money, basically public money to get these orders in, because I was using public money because I was on the appropriate benefits. And now what they're doing is they're looking to remove that ability by maliciously putting a civil restraint order in and denying me the right to appeal, denying me all the actions that I require. Subsequently, they're removing the right of me to have an audience with the appeal judge, disregarding civil procedure rules because it's not to their interest or benefit. They could just, they got these civil procedure rules in the courts. They don't abide by them. They're just rules. They can just abandon them. The judge can just unilaterally abandon them anytime he wants. So that's what's been happening in the past. Now today, obviously, I'm being staged and set up. They're telling me you can't speak directly to the judge. I've got a senior, a cluster manager, which is in charge of both Leeds and Bradford, Julie Collins, I believe. Coming down, she's clearly in on it. And it always goes all the way up to the head of the Courts and Tribunal Service, Nick Goodwin, who I've explained previously has been responsible for my mother's murder. I've made a police complaint about him, and yeah, it's just basically this setting me up, and it's very, very, there's this level of anxiety because this is exactly what they did, 3 years prior. This is exactly in 2021. They stopped me from recording. That time they got a High Court judge involved, Mr. Justice Cobb. To stop me, just basically setting me up, saying that I'm the problem and nobody else is the problem, and that's just pure racism, because I'm not the problem. I'm just trying to say, look, there is no case here. This is just a manufactured case that's been run through the courts. Local authority are buying off the judges. They bought off Mr. Justice Cobb. Then Mr. Justice Cobb, recruited the local authority recruited the Mr. Justice Cohen, who was responsible for my, having me made homeless at time of the height of the pandemic, completely disregarding the laws that they have. The laws are a mockery. That these people, the judges, the justices, the courts, the local authority, and maybe even the government are making a clear mockery of the laws that they themselves have created in order to, it's just clear mockery. Making mockery of the laws that they create in order to hold us hostage. I'm not doing anything wrong here. My family is suffering. I'm the one that's financially supporting them after having been wrongly and fraudulently criminally convicted. And now everybody's colluding and conspiring. And when I'm being patient and going through their processes, basically they're taking me by the hand, running me down the garden path up to the edge of the cliff, and up the hill or to the edge of the cliff, and then basically taking 2 steps back and kicking me off in order to do me in, expecting me to trust them all the time. I don't trust any of these people. They're lying, cheating crooks. They're now all colluding and conspiring. Why would they not be open and transparent with me? Why are they refusing to speak to me? Because they know the fact that they've been caught out once again committing fraud and corruption, because they've been selling out their services to the local authority, prostituting out their services to the local authority in order to help the local authority cover up their failures. And because they know that I'm recording everything and publicizing after being open and transparent, I'm a civil rights activist. I'm trying to investigative journalist, private investigative journalist, to find out exactly what's happening in these courts. And it's all fraud and corruption, and it's just diabolical and deplorable and disgusting. But what is one to do but basically I'm just being set up now. I'm just basically be set up to fail. There's no point me going to the courts, because they're trying to arrange things for me to be jumped now, and they're gonna do acts of villainy. Do you think I trust them? I don't trust them. I wouldn't trust them as far as I can throw them. They were just absolutely lying. They're manipulating the situation. They're giving me some rhetoric and spiel that, you need to follow these rules, and bullying and intimidating me, saying that we're going to put you into prison for contempt of court, when the reality is that they are racist, Islamophobic, and hold me in contempt because I'm not one of their cliques. I'm not part of the whole fraternity of the legal professionals who are all scrubbing each other's backs in order to make financial gains and profit for each other at the expense of the members of the public, such as myself and such as the rest of society, that they are meant to serve and protect and have an oath to abide by. They don't care about nobody. Why is nobody talking about the fact that my brother's been kidnapped in this manner while these court proceedings are underway? This is quite clearly a perversion of justice and a perverting the judicial process. But when that perversion is done by the judges and that have sold out the services, then it's all fair and good and well, is it? Absolutely horrendous. And this is exactly a deja vu situation of how my mother was murdered in 2021, 2022. It's coming to be now in a week's time. It's going to be on the 22nd of January 2022. It's going to be my mother's anniversary, of my second year anniversary of my mother's death. These people don't care. They just spiteful and cruel and vindictive, because they're all hiding behind the corporate veil, hiding behind the posts and positions, hiding behind the corporate the committing acts of villainy from behind the corporate veil. It's just completely committing ultra-virus acts behind the corporate veil. That's correct. And then they're all just like saying, no, we're just doing our job. We're very busy doing our job. We're getting paid to do our job. We're not doing anything wrong. It is you. You're the problem. You're saying this. I'm looking to expose your fraud and corruption. That's what the problem here is. And you are fraudulent and corrupt. You all know it. I know it. And we are suffering as a consequence of it. I'll just leave it there. So it's all just villainy and fraud and deception. I'm not suicidal. I'll never kill myself. The local authority are clearly setting me up to fail so they can cover up their past failures, particularly the murder of my brother Nazim in 2014 and the murder of my mother in January 2022, January 2022. And now it's 2024. Today is the 15th of January 2024. Allah Hafiz.